Everyone, welcome to the Captain's Video Blog. We are Wednesday, November the 23rd, 2016, and yeah, there's not a lot of noise. I don't know why I was like, haha, it's noisy and shit. No, it's actually not very noisy because there was a storm at the end of the afternoon until around midnight, and it was supposed to come down after midnight, like very early in the morning, like around 4 a.m. And we're almost at 4 a.m. right now, and it's been calm for a lot of time. So yeah, suck on that, I guess. Not even any rain anymore. So I mean, that's kind of that's kind of a bummer. I was like, oh, it's going to be the apocalypse. Is this video blog even going on the web? I don't know. So yeah. No, but really though, it's just I wanted to have some fun with the weather, but no. So yeah, it's just I'm like why am I even talking about this? It's just a waste of time, you know. It's, like talking about SmackDown, I was remembering about all the times where I before I did really talk about wrestling in the video weblogs, because I was sometimes running really late on the wrestling actually. Like the time where I was 1 month late, just watching weeks and weeks worth of wrestling in one afternoon. Oh boy, just getting back on track with the the storylines would have been much more complicated right now, because I would have had to watch Raw separately from SmackDown. Um, but nah, yeah. So speaking of SmackDown, so SmackDown was a really fun show. Like lots of storylines advanced, with The Miz and Dolph Ziggler having to meet again for the Intercontinental title at TLC. One for the very last time too was kind of the stipulation. Now, what that entails, I'm not sure. It was after. The Miz retained his title by dubious means. Like he was put into a match against Kalisto because of the way he retained the title at the Survivor Series. Everyone did not like this. So yeah, Miz giving it's going to be a celebration. Now you're going to have a match for the Intercontinental title. Oh, it's too bad. Yeah. Just the funniest stuff. Kalisto, like in the ring, just seconds, looking for 10 seconds, like, oh god, what's coming? And the camera panning out to the crowd, but there was nothing, and then just cuts back to the ring, and oh, Baron Corbin's there, it's taking a bicycle kick, and it's a distraction, and Miz retained. Oh, end of days by Baron Corbin on Kalisto. Oh, Miz took a super kick by Dolph Ziggler. Get fucked, Miz. Yeah, fun stuff. So also, Dean Ambrose, because of his attitude and his actions on Survivor Series, was pretty much suspended from the night. He was banned from the premises. But that didn't really work, as he appeared backstage to notify everyone that Natalya was quoting Titanic, "My heart will go on." Oh, Celine Dion, Leonardo DiCaprio, after Shane was like, oh god, Alexa Bliss is talking to me about a rematch. Oh god, what am I gonna do? And Becky Lynch arrived. Haha, puns! You're gonna have your match at TLC. It's on. And they were like, she was like, Alexa Bliss was like, haha, but I will take your title because you are the reason why we lost at Survivor Series. And Natalya arrived. She said, yeah, you are the reason why we lost at Survivor Series. So effectively being turning heel. So pretty much admitting that it's her who attacked Nikki Bella. Yeah. So I mean, oh my, here, there, near, far, wherever you are, believe that my heart will go on. It's supposed to be a love song, not a song about kicking someone's ass. It's because she challenged her to a match in the evening. Yeah. So, like, Dean arrived as the pizza man. Like, it was an old school gimmick, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Maybe Dusty Rhodes with the shirt said pizza, and he brought pizza, and Dean Ambrose was like, yeah, this is pretty much that. Uh, Shane was pissed. You don't want a piece of pizza? Nah, I don't want. He want you to get out. And so yeah, there was so the women's match, which wasn't a bad match by any means. You know, like Becky Lynch and Natalya are two very talented wrestlers, so it was a technically solid match. But yeah, pretty short match because that's not the focus. You know, Lynch won by making the tap out, so yeah, that's on your teeth. But then she was attacked by Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss should probably take the title at TLC because she's been, you know, very good this year. There's nothing for me to say against her being the champion. When she first challenged for the title, I was like, that's probably too early. But now it's not too early. Like, we've seen that Becky Lynch hasn't made the most of her title reign, which was pretty much the same as Dolph Ziggler as Intercontinental Champion and Dean Ambrose as the WWE World Champion. So yeah, changing the title, changing hands, the title changing hands probably won't hurt. And Alexa Bliss is very good with her reactions. So yeah, that's something good. Puns are fun. Alexa Bliss's reactions are. So yeah. Then Daniel Bryan was pissed at Baron Corbin for costing Kalisto the match. He even on Talking Smack, he didn't really understand what was wrong with attacking Kalisto. So Daniel Bryan was like, "Yeah, I'm going to put you in a match against Kane." So then there was the tag team turmoil match. Yeah, tag team turmoil match. Because there wasn't, any advancement over the tag team titles. So Daniel Bryan decided that all the teams with a full-time contract on SmackDown should be in a tag team turmoil. So essentially a gauntlet. The teams that started were the Ascension and the Hype Bros. Yeah, went pretty fast with the Hype Bros and the Hype Rider. Setting up, the next match. Kind of bummed for the Ascension. They were, the longest reigning champions on NXT, and now they are just an afterthought. Much like the second team that. Was the third team in the tag team turmoil, Breezango, who actually won against the High Bros, but then lost to American Alpha, who won the whole thing by also eliminating the Vaudevillains pretty fast with the not even the Grand Amplitude. I think it was just a regular German suplex with a bridge. Yeah, those Vaudevillains too. They are not faring well on the main roster. And then the Usos with a very good tag match. Pretty much 10 minutes of back and forth until one Uso was being taken care of, and then the Grand Amplitude for the other one to be pinned. So yeah, American Alpha thought they had won, and they said so on Talking Smack, but then appeared the Wyatt family with Bray Wyatt saying that don't think you're just done yet, we're not coming for you tonight, but me and Randy, we're coming for you soon. And yeah, American Alpha weren't too happy with that. Talked about it on Talking Smack. As I said, they were actually in the finals of the first tag team tournament of SmackDown's history. That's kind of a weak sentence here. Yeah, so they were in the finals against. They were supposed to be in the finals against Slater and Rhino back in September, but got screwed out of that because of the Usos, and now they feel that they might be screwed out of that because of the Wyatt family. Because Daniel Bryan admitted that he's not calling all the shots, and therefore next week, yes, there is a number one title contenders match between the American Alpha and the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Then there was another backstage thing with Nikki Bella and Carmella. Carmella laughing at at Nikki's situation on Survivor Series, and Nikki being, very very in your face about talking um, about Carmella possibly being the one who attacked her, except Carmella was like, what would I have won by attacking you, by putting you out of service for the match? It was Survivor Series, probably the ones who were winning something by taking you out were the people on Raw, the people on the E network. Ha ha ha. Yeah. So Nikki Bella just once again not being subtle about just knowing people who had power by saying, I went to see my brother-in-law, the general manager. Woo. He put us in a no disqualification match at TLC. So yeah, that's putting an end to a situation that's been detrimental to Carmella. Honestly, this rivalry has been going on for way too long, I do think, and didn't help Carmella because she was way too focused on Nikki Bella. It sure was consistent thing, but went on for way too long. So yeah. Then there was another backstage thing with Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, and Shane looking visibly, tired. Like he probably before the camera went to them, they were like, "Yeah, so why did you let me with the women and Natalya and her crazy whistle? Oh, she stayed up all night with two paws and she sang Titanic and." Just as they were getting back on screen, Shane's eyes just went like that because Dean Ambrose was back, and this time he was back as the Mountie. The Mountie is probably one of the most well remembered how could I say, gimmicks from Canada. So people not knowing who the Mountie is, you're not really fans of wrestling, I guess. Just being filthy casuals. So yeah, he wanted to explain why he was dressed up as the Mountie. Shane was like, "You're not supposed to be here. What are you doing here? Jesus fucking Christ." Well, he wasn't saying Jesus fucking Christ because, TVPG, let's be honest, and American TV at that. TVPG, as if they could say fuck on normal television. They can say that on the USA Network, I guess, but on later, after Raw or after SmackDown in Shooter, series that they heavily advertised. So yeah, just before Dean could give his reasons why he was dressed as the Mountie, Shane was like, "I don't want to hear them," and Bryan was like, "Yeah, you know what, Shane, you should have the night off, go take some rest, a little bit banged up, I'll take care of that." And Dean was like, "I'll tell you next week," and Dean was like, "I want to know." So Dean told him, the Mountie always gets his man. That's part of the the theme song. So there was the match between Kane and Baron Corbin. Didn't go anywhere, besides Baron Corbin having the win by disqualification because he was attacked by Kalisto. He was just down and out after Kane took care of him one last time and did this thing with the fire out of the poles. Haha, classic Kane. So Kalisto went at him, went to find a chair. Just before he could attack him, Baron Corbin just rolled out of the ring, and then he was like, "Nah, I'm going back." He got kicked in the face by Kalisto. Kalisto threw the chair into Corbin's hand and got kicked the chair into the face of Corbin. So yeah, Kalisto visibly pissed. He won't have none of that shit.
good for him. So then there was the ladder match that was set up in the opening segment because AJ Styles was pissed off that James Ellsworth was offered a SmackDown contract. So yeah, the stipulation was if Ellsworth wins, he has the contract and possibly a title shot. That will have to be discussed because Shane was in charge at that point, but then he wasn't. So yeah, Dean Ambrose came out once again as the Goon with his Senator's jersey too, but didn't have a lot of impact on the match. Actually, the only thing he did was taking a phenomenal forearm. Then again, maybe Ellsworth would have taken the phenomenal forearm instead. So yeah, but Ellsworth won the match by himself as AJ Styles was coming up the ladder to, as he said, rip the contract in front of James Ellsworth. Ellsworth just threw him off the ladder with a nasty spear. It's as if AJ Styles had never been in a ladder match. Like he just tried to catch the rope and just tumbled over the top rope, tumbled over the ring apron, just roll on the floor. It was nasty, but not too bad apparently because he tried to get back in the ring only to receive the no chi music. And that wasn't enough too because he tried to go back but his foot was in the ropes and really well tangled, just looking in absolute despair as Ellsworth was clinching the title, being a full-time SmackDown employee. Well, I mean, he still had to sign the contract, but he did it on Talking Smack. So yeah, on Talking Smack, Daniel Bryan was very much a father. Like he was like, yeah, I thought that it was a bad idea to have the Shane in the match because he was in front of his wife and children. And he took the spear, and then he was like, I was really happy for Goldberg because he was wrestling in front of his son who had never seen him wrestle, and he was when he talked about Rich Swann losing his parents very young, and that's that threw him into just a series of events that he lived alone at 15 years old, and he fell into drugs and then went into pro wrestling. That you just felt that Daniel Bryan was getting pretty choked up. But yeah, also he thinks that Goldberg, Daniel Bryan maybe thinks that Goldberg was the one who attacked Brie Bella. I mean, that was obviously a joke. Yeah, he admitted though that that one thing that has been pretty much a complaint after the match between Goldberg and Lesnar, that the Attitude guys can still go at it, and he feels that in that aspect he failed to build the SmackDown superstars to that same level, level when you could think about AJ Styles, about Dean Ambrose, and say, yeah, those two could go to WrestleMania, because when you see Goldberg, you say, yeah, he might as well headline WrestleMania, and he wants to have them seen in the same breath, of Goldberg, as Goldberg when you talk about WrestleMania main eventers. Yeah. Also, he set up a chairs match with which I think is garbage because it just no disqualification light, because you only can use chairs after Corbin talked shit about Kalisto and the cruiserweights. Yeah, I won't take my time. A 5'3", I cannot hang with me. Yeah, right. Full of shit, Corbin. Taking my airtime. After Daniel Bryan talked about the cruiserweights as very athletic people, not only flips, but people who do flips are very athletic, but also match wrestlers like Drew Gulak or Brian Kendrick, and people that are not being treated correctly on Raw, because Raw wants, wrestling is about making stars, and Raw thinks apparently thinks that they can only they can achieve that just with good matches, which doesn't really work. So maybe you should make them care more about the cruiserweights with their personalities, and that's why he was so pissed about Kalisto not winning. Being screwed out of the win. So yeah, wow, I went for way longer than I expected. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Well, we talk about NXT. Boy, I mean, NXT after Takeover shouldn't be a lot of matches to talk about. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Boy.